So hello and welcome to our mini Playful Learning Festival and the book show. Yeah, so our agenda has changed a bit, so we will have a book discussion and also books offer, so that it's possible for you to buy the book there and or just order it from the internet, so there will be the link for you. Yeah, so you can order it rather from Ottawa Learning, which is one of the publishers, or from Finland International Education, which is us. So welcome our honorable authors, highly qualified specialists, professionals who will lead you to the world of playful learning. So it's Dr. Pirkko Karvonen. Yeah. Yes, Pirkko is a mother of baby swimming in Finland. She first introduced baby swimming to Finland in the early 80s. Also, she has PhD in early childhood education and together with master degree in physical education. And Pirkko is also the author of numerous manuscripts for the TV shows, children's TV shows, and also she has published over 20 handbooks for early childhood education. Yes, and she mainly focuses on physical education and also early reading education. Yeah. So, now welcome Dr. Christoph Venivesi. He also has a PhD in education. He's also an experienced workshop director, and his research interests lay in the areas of playfulness, phenomenon-based learning, also experience-oriented and cooperative learning, and many others. Susan Helden Pavola. She's the deputy director of the Daycare Center, and she developed the bilingual pedagogical approach in early childhood education, and her work were featured in the 100.org innovation list. Yes, she also has been working for over than 12 years with children from 1 to 6 years old, and she's been dealing with bilingual children, and she's been dealing with both languages, Finnish and Swedish. Milla Salonen. She's a kindergarten teacher and Master of Arts. She has a vast experience of work with children, 16 plus years of experience, and also she's been a contributor to From a Story to Play, a handbook of narrative play, and also trains their early childhood teachers, because she represents the company of her own. So also Milla contributes a lot to the disputes of the national core curriculum, what is best for the children and how this core curriculum can be changed and the terms of this curriculum. So I'm Alena Adameika, the representative of Finland International Education Company. And thanks. And before representing my company, I would like to mention some very special guests we have today. I mean, you're all very special, but we have some guests who came from, guess from where? We have 3 flags here, from Lithuania, Ukraine, and we used Belarusian national flag, not the existing one, because we are a bit, So they're the people from Stambridge kindergarten, the people who now, from Lithuania, who helps now to Ukrainian refugees and also to Belarusian political refugees, and onboard Ukrainian and Belarusian children all the time for free. And do a lot to support Ukrainians and Belarusians. And now they came here to learn more about playful learning and to transfer this language to the children. I think we should be grateful for their bravery, for their love to children, and for everything they are doing. Thank you for that. Yes? So, Yelena and Tatiana. Yes, so a bit about some words about the company. So Finland International Education, or shortly FINE, it's the company that exports the values of Finnish education worldwide, and our educational system is based on the values and principles of Finnish national curriculum. So our main vision is to be the leader in highly quality early childhood education in our target markets around the world. And we follow the main principles and values of trust, respect, and equality. So among our key regions, we can point out Europe, Gulf area, Asia, and South America. So what do we actually do? We are providing the following services. So we sell educational licenses to the kindergartens, play schools, to preschools and elementary schools. And also we also sell training programs for teachers, for parents, for the management of the kindergartens and elementary schools. Besides, we are also responsible for publishing educational materials, also for publishing Playful Learning in Early Childhood Education in Finland book. And additionally, we also provide parental education, STEAM packages, drama lessons, interior design, and architectural design. So in China, there will be soon, in September 2022, there will be the grand opening of the kindergarten that was like our fine kindergarten that used our interior and architectural design. So, our licenses, there are 3 types of licenses that we produce. There is a standard license, which means that by taking this license, you will be the only one fine kindergarten or school or whatever in your city, so there won't be other competitors, fine competitors for you. Sorry for that. Also, exclusive license, actually, there will be math now. It includes the content of standard license, plus, as a pleasant, nice bonus, a Finnish teacher in your kindergarten or school. And territorial license means that your chain of kindergartens or your kindergarten will be the only one in the whole country, and there will be also the right of sub-license. Yes, and the standard license usually includes the academic planning, teachers training, operative training, pedagogical content, and brand guides. But we are very flexible, so it's possible to take from us, for instance, three days study visit, or take the teachers training only, plus 50 lesson plans for one age group out of 500 that we have already. So our target age groups start from 0 plus to 10. So we deal with kindergartens, nursery, kindergartens, preschools, and primary schools. Yes, and we use the following educational approach. Of course, we use learning through play, we use positive pedagogy, we use participation, phenomenon-based learning, all-day learning, and also life skills development. Because to our mind, life skills development is even much more important than hard skills development. So there are some references of the existing partners that we have. So you can see the fine kindergarten in China that will be ready in September 2022. Also, we combine both on-site training and also online training. So here you can see some online training in India. Some training in China. Some training also in China. So what our specialists usually do, they deal both with teacher staff, with the management, and also with children. So they also show how to play with children and what activities should be done. And they also check how the teachers of these establishments deal with children. So there is always a double check of the work. Yes, also some of our partners in Vietnam and the kindergartens. Yeah, so thanks a lot for your attention, and have a pleasant evening full of play and playful learning. And you can see some of the references of our company, so you can also find us on the Facebook and can see our fingerprint blueberry sign. So if you find it, then it's us, so you can follow us. So have a nice evening, and now we can open the book discussion. So you can ask some questions, or I can start asking some questions, and yeah. Okay, authors of the book. Okay, we'll just put another presentation.
mikrofoni ollenkaan. No niin. Kuuluuko se tuonne ulos myös? I will speak in Finnish. Do you understand me if I speak Finnish? Okei. No niin. Minun nimi on siis Pirkko Karvonen. Yes. No mäkin voin kyllä sanoa jotakin, että kyllä mä nyt osaan sen verran englantia, vaikka olen kirjoittanut kirjaakin. Onko mä sun tiellä tai missä muu pitäisi olla tässä? No niin, tämä kirja lähti alkuun noin yli 3 vuotta sitten. Melkein 4 vuotta, joo. Ja mä oon siis eläkkeellä oleva, I am retired. Mutta varhaiskasvatuksen laitokselta yksi opettaja tuli mulle sanomaan, että voisinko kirjoittaa tästä kirjasta englanniksi, koska täällä on niin paljon noita ulkomaisia opiskelijoita. They had so many students from outside and they needed some book. And this was quite good book for them. But when we started writing this book, we had to change a little bit. We didn't like this book so much. No niin, ja tässä mä vielä sitä alusta sanon. Kun tämä kirja aloitettiin kirjoittamaan, niin
when we started to write the book,
meillä oli vähän vaikeuksia aluksi saada siihen kirjoittajia.
We had a little bit of trouble finding writers for the book.
Sellaisia kirjoittajia, jotka osas tätä alaa hyvin ja sitten vielä osas englantia ja niin edelleen.
Writers who would understand the field of play and they also could do that in English.
No sitten vihdoin me saimme kaikki koottua, eli meitä on 8 kirjoittajaa. We have so 8 authors now. And they are very good one. Very, very good ones. No sitten tämän lähes 4 vuoden matkalla niin tapahtui kaikenlaista. Niitä ikäviä asioita minä en kerro.
During these 4 years happened a lot of stuff and she's not going to tell all the awkward things.
Mutta onneksi kaikki päättyi hyvin. Ja
Finally everything is good.
Joo. Ja me olemme nyt tosi iloisia tästä kirjasta. Ja tässä kirjassa on kirja on jaettu 3 osaan.
The book is divided in 3 parts.
Joo. Ja ensimmäisessä osassa kuvataan päivähoitoa, suomalaista päivähoitoa ja sitä, mitä lakeja siihen kuuluu ja niin edelleen.
The first part concerns the legislation of the Finnish early childhood education and all the regulations that we have concerning the area of that.
Ja toinen osa sitten taas kuvaa oppimisalueita, mitä päiväkodissa on.
And the second part, part 2, describes all the learning areas we have in the Finnish early childhood education.
Ja 3. osa on sitten leikkiosa.
And the third part is about the play activities.
Ja nyt sitten tämä 2. osa, jossa on näitä eri oppimisalueita, niin me kuvataan aika laajasti kutakin aluetta.
Those descriptions of the different learning areas describe very widely, for instance, like the language.
Esimerkiksi kielialue on siinä hyvin laajasti kuvattu, samoin motoriikka,
language, motoristic skills,
taidekasvatus,
art and
matematiikka.
Mathematical area.
Ja siinä on sitten kuvattu myös se, että minkä ikäisenä lapset mitäkin osaavat.
And we also have the stages where children learn different stuff in the different age.
Mutta semmoinen ydinasia kaikessa on se, että tässä integroidaan näitä alueita toisiinsa. Integrating is the most important thing in this book. Ja Eli se ei sillä tavalla ole niin kuin oppiainekeskeistä, josta nyt kritisoidaan sitä, että jos liian niin kuin koulumaista. Se ei saa olla koulumaista meidän mielestä, eikä
so
se
this
ole.
book is not like about the learning areas individually, it's about that the play is in the center of everything.
Ja sitten tosiaan ne leikit siellä lopussa, ne on kullekin alueelle. On kielialueen leikkejä, on motoriikkaleikkejä, on taideleikkejä, on matematiikkaleikkejä ja niin edelleen. Että sillä tavalla ne niin kuin liittyvät sitten siihen teoriaosaan.
And in the third part there is for all the sections, like for the language there are own plays, then there are play activities for the math and play activities for the art. So all the areas are separated in the third part.
No sitten Milla ja muut saavat kertoa sitten tästä omista kirjoittamistaan alueista. Niitä on joitakin kappaleita kirjoitettu niin kuin yhdessä ja sitten jotkut on erikseen ja niin edelleen.
Okay, so I translate this. So we are going to now present you all the different areas of the book, of the parts of the book, the different writers.
Okei. No niin, jatketaan sitten näillä toisten kertomisilla. Mutta se, minkä minä palautteen olen saanut tästä kirjasta, niin mä haluan sen kertoa. Se on erään lastentarhanopettajan, varhaiskasvattajan siis antama palaute.
I want to tell you a feedback that I got from a early childhood education teacher
Elikkä,
about the book.
In this book is a lot of energy. And it can see that you have written it with love for children. Eikö me olla kirjoittu se niin kuin rakkaudesta lapsiin?
Kyllä. Because the play is the thing for the children.
Yeah. Okay. Milla will go on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can you hear me with this head thing?
Otatko
Okay, no, I have this head thing going on. So my name is Milla Salonen, like I was already presented. I have been working as a kindergarten teacher for 18 years now, and my passion has always been the play. Already in the beginning of my career, I was worried that the children don't have enough time and resources to play, especially because I was working in the preschool. And it was at the time very based on the academic skills that the children have to learn, like the letters and the numbers, and they have to know how to count. And I have always been like, no, this is not the thing that this age children do. They play, they learn through the play. And when I was asked 4 years ago to be a part of the book, I was asked to write an article about the narrative play, because that's one of my passions also. And 4 years later,
I said to you.
4 years later, I have been writing a bit more. Almost in every chapter, there's something that.
She's so good teacher.
So this has been a very long process, but very enjoyable, because we have had a lot of conversations about the meaning of the play, and also the thing that I think is now also in Finland very critical thing, how we adults play with the children. Because if we have kindergarten and we have legislation and we have curriculum, and there is a key activity, like in the first chapter we talk about that, there is in Finland, key activity is play. So the children will play. What are we adults doing then? Are we just like, okay, now they go and play? What is the profession that we use when we are playing with the children? Do we do the thing that we are in the play with the children? Do we step out and look what the children are doing and learning when they are playing? And that's the key element, I think, about the playful learning. In the second chapter, we are talking about the language. And there's also the narratives, which are important. Narratives and play, they are like the other side of each other. When the children play, they make stories. They tell stories about themselves. They tell stories about the environment they are in. They tell stories what they want. And if we adults are not listening, we are not there where they're doing it, How do we know what they are thinking? We have very high goals also for the early childhood education in Finland, for like skills of thinking. How do we evaluate that? I think play is also key for that. Because in play, the children can do whatever they want. It's a very, imagination is something where everything is possible. And I think that's also something we need for the future. We need thinkers who can see things that are not there. And play is also a key for that. And then there is the third chapter about the art and play. Also, the art and play are the other side of each other. The art can also be included in the play. It's something concrete that the children can create when they are playing. For instance, in a narrative play, we meet a dragon somewhere. It's a very, very angry dragon, and we have to win it because we have to make it to be as nice as possible. And we need something. We have to create that. And then we, for instance, have friendship hearts that they create, doing something creative, like painting, musical stuff. It can sing, the heart can sing and make the dragon nice. So we can include everything into the play. We don't need separate things because the play can do it all together. And then the chapter 6, where we have, from the curriculum, we have the other learning areas. It's about being a human to another. How we can practice kindness, how we can practice tolerance, how we can be all together in the same play by being ourselves, how we can share our things even though we don't know each other. It's an universal language of the children, and I'm also hoping that someday it will be also the language of the adults, that we adults should find the playfulness again, because that's something also that makes us feel good. And I'm hoping that in the future that's a part of the kindergarten teacher program to be playful, and I challenge you all to be playful also. Thank you. That was very passionate.
After Milla, not so good. Okay. I will speak mostly Finnish, but I will introduce myself. I'm Susan Helden Paavola, and I'm the one who is working with these great people. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 years old. And I'm a small part of this book. Me and my 2 colleagues, we think that we know the best because we are working with these children, what you are talking about. And now I speak in Finnish, and maybe Milla, you will translate. Yeah. Me tehtiin kombo meidän osiosta.
We made a combo. We combined those things that Susan is written in the book.
3 varhaiskasvatuksen opettajaa.
3 kindergarten teachers have been written in the part 3 with me.
3 eri osaamisaluetta.
3 different learning areas.
3 profession I would like to think.
Okay, professions.
Yes. Päivi, musiikin harrastaja.
Päivi, who has the music as a hobby.
Yes. Elina, an artist. Ja mun osaamisalue on kokopäiväpedagogiikka.
Susan's can I say passion?
Yeah.
Is the whole day pedagogy.
Me ollaan näiden lasten kanssa 7-8 tuntia päivässä.
We spend from 7 to 8 hours with the children during the day.
Ja silloin me puhutaan kokopäiväpedagogiikasta, koska me saadaan joka paikkaan sitä oppimista.
And that's why we talk about the whole day learning, because we can add learning in all the parts of the day.
Sisällä, ulkona.
Indoors, outdoors.
Ruokailussa.
While eating.
Siirtymisissä, eteistilanteissa, kun puetaan.
In the different when you go from indoors, outdoors. These, I don't remember the word now. Transitions from
yes.
outside to inside and outside, or from eating to outside or.
Niihin kaikkiin tilanteisiin saa musiikkia, kaikkiin tilanteisiin saa taidetta, kaikkiin tilanteisiin saa kieltä, kaikkiin hetkiin saa matematiikkaa, kaikkiin hetkiin saa motoriikkaa.
All these situations during the day can include mathematics, moving, art, music, all this thing combined through the whole day.
Avainsanat meidän osiossa tässä kirjassa on.
The key words in our chapter are
Participate, osallisuus, vuorovaikutus ja läsnäolevuus,
interaction between different persons and
läsnäolevuus,
being present at the moment.
Kokopäiväpedagogiikka.
The whole day pedagogy.
Yes, siinä ne oli.
Thanks.
Kiitos.
Okay. I will tell about chapter 4 at it's including mathematics. Laura Taittonen, who is living in Tampere, she couldn't come, not here, and I will say the key words. Innate mathematical abilities, basic skills in arithmetics, counting skills, understanding mathematical relations, spatial thinking and geometry. And Christoph is the next one.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Pirkko, and thanks for all of you who came today. A large part of my presentation is there. I hope that you immersed into my chapter, not my chapter, but our chapter about STEAM. We say, but I think Pirkko started with the keyword that was integration, and I think this chapter that we were working together, in my case, it was about the integration through play and in play, making with things and thinking through things and thinking with things which are also integrative objects and becoming dragons or representations of knowledge in the hands of children, also information. So many things come through this imaginative flow in the play, and also the reflection through these experiences. That's a very important part of playing as well, and because many times it also takes playful format, the reflection itself. So I think this is a very complex, but in the same time a very open process, and very pleasant and very cozy, very safe process as well. What all you described. I would like to highlight another aspect of integration. So I was really glad and really humbled to be integrated in your group as well, because if you take a look to the list of the authors, you can see the Finnish, Swedish, Finnish names in the authors, and maybe we have a say in Hungarian. I think it's also exists in Finnish. I'm the only egg of the cuckoo, the different egg, which has the different patterns. Yeah. So I'm Hungarian. So you can know from my name, and also I'm the only male author in this book. I needed to mention this, but it was a very interesting process, and actually Pirkko shuffled the cards, and she kept the threads in her hands, and she was also like a little bit like, in a very good sense, a puppet player or a motivator in our puppet theater, or a mother. But many processes has been which I think only she has had the vision, but not any of us knew the big plan on some points. Maybe Milla is a little bit exception, but at least not me. And I can tell you, I can't explain you the moment of surprise when I found out that Susan, Päivi, Elina are co-authors in this book, because I meet with them every day, because my children are in the same kindergarten, and you can imagine that there was this book process is going on already like 1 year. We already had manuscripts submitted, and then I just thought, okay, you are there too, because of course on some point I started to saw the whole book, not just these little islands, and they started to come together. And that was also another revelation, that I had to understand, of course, every book what I contributed is true. Everything is true in every books where I ever contributed.
And about the surprises, this is like the first time I've met anybody else.
Yes, true.
Because we have been doing this
and
online.
And also the pandemic affected this, and many things in the same time. But I had to understand, and I had to understood also in that point that in this book everything is really true, because my children, who are in many photos actually, they experienced everything what is written there. And one more word about integration. So we have also foreign guests tonight, like myself, sort of. So integration into the Finnish society is very, very easy on many ways. But if you have children, I think that's the easiest, because the strong foundations of early childhood education, and in many countries there are some hierarchy between academy is the highest, and then high school, secondary school, primary school, and I'm talking about, for example, Hungary. And early childhood education is not really the most important in the head of the decision makers. But here in Finland, that's the very strong basis, and also to the entrance, the entry for the society, not only the foreigners, but also for the Finnish people themselves. And we could experience all of this. And I think this book is also open this door, and that's why it's important that it's in English. That now also other societies, other kindergartens or the childhood centers can also think seriously and can have some help how to have these doors open and have these dimensions also seen through on a very systematic way, but also in a very playful way, because all these games, I think this is at least like a minimum 2, but maybe 3 books if we are serious. But the main part is the collection of the games, and that's very important. Sorry for talking too long, but that was the moment I could tell all of this. Thanks.
Okay. And then I have written the part 5 and chapter 5, and it's telling about motoric. And because I have teach motoric at the university to kindergarten teachers. Okay, the keywords are motor learning and physical activity and motor skills. And in my mind, this physical activity is very, very important today, because children are looking all the time the phone, puhelinta, and sitting. And now in kindergarten, they had to teach children to move. And it's good if they do that at home too. No niin, nyt mä vielä sanon tästä. The general goal of motor learning and movement is to develop a child's holistic learning and growth as well as to promote a physical activity and health lifestyle. Physical exercises are a natural way to get to know children's level of self-awareness, miten se sanotaan? Awareness and mastery of their bodies, providing a basis for healthy life self-esteem. And I think that when you are teaching motor exercises, you can include in the mathematics, and you can include in art and music, and now I hope that you stand up and we can put movement to language. I hope you could do with your body T-kirjain. T.
Remember the head.
T.
T is not like
Yeah, it doesn't have to. Not.
T. You know, the T is not like this. Like this. For example,
Sitten X.
X.
X. How do you say that? S. 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 Oho.
The S.
S. And then U.
It's a different way around.
U.
oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Ottakaa sitten pari. You can take
A partner. A
Partner.
pair.
I have to say, my, you know, these who I'm working,
Are you my
they
pair?
are much better than you are, because they have this imagination. Something is going to happen with us.
They are more flexible.
Yes, that's
Of
true.
course, of course.
No
Okay.
niin. Now you can do together.
Does everybody have a pair?
B.
We.
V.
B.
V.
They.
V. V. Tässä on, joo, V. Joo.
Or is the B or B?
Joo.
B. We did a B.
K. K-kirjain.
What?
K.
K.
K. K.
Okay, you can stand.
They had it like
Mikä?
E.
You tell it.
A participation.
Yes, so get some letters.
Give us letters.
What? S.
H.
H.
H. Ota mä katon. Varo, että putoa siitä.
Yeah. So if we are the, and then we would hands like this.
Entäs M-kirjain?
Yes.
M.
M, like mother.
Are it a bit lower?
Älä putoa siitä.
Ei se mennyt noin.
M, tähän. Näin.
Yeah.
When we think this all, we all do it in a different way, and we're having fun. We're laughing. So you can only think that, like endorphin, that it's coming through us when we are playing also as an adult.
Okei.
This was a play, and what happened to us? Everybody was smiling.
Yeah.
So
And learning the alphabets.
Yeah. Just by doing that.
Yeah.
Playful
Okay,
thing.
thank you.
this was an example from the book.
Joo.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Now you can ask some questions to the authors of the book, and then we can continue playing with you. Do you want to play? You have no choice. You won't. Okay, better ask. Okay.
True play.
I hate silent moments. So I have to ask question. I don't need the microphone. I'm loud enough. Oh, you're streaming. Okay. I have actually two questions / comments. The first one is, okay, this is like a preschool type of activities mostly. How do we extend this to primary school and secondary school? And the second one is, how do we get this into teacher education as really a part of the training of the future teachers?
Okay, I think for the first question, how we do with the older students, I don't think we have to change much because the play doesn't change so much. It's about the ideas that the older children come up with when they are playing. For instance, like the smaller children do it, for instance, this alphabet. It's not the point that they know that they are alphabets. But when they go older, they know that, okay, now we can do also the alphabets we have been reading by ourselves. And that's the fun, and that's the learning through the play. Somebody want to add?
The second question or comment you had.
How do we get this into teacher training?
Yes, and
I take it in Finnish, maybe Milla you can translate. Sen takia on harjoitteluosio. Eli paljon siellä teoriassa tehdään, mutta thank God they are coming and do their practice at the field because we are playing over there. Ja sitä harjoittelua valitettavasti on otettu Suomessakin paljon pois, että sitä kun lisättäisiin, niin se ratkeaisi varmaan sillä.
So in Finland also we have shortened the periods of practicing in the field where the children actually are with their teacher playing and doing the stuff. So I think we also should have a lot of more time that the students would spend with the actual children, how they learn. I don't know how we get the book there. That's maybe somebody who is responsible for what kind of material the teacher training is using. Maybe, for instance, for some courses could use our book also as an English material that we also have in Finnish education also.
Questions?
Any other comments or questions? Own experiences?
I can say one. It's important that we don't have any books like in the school, but we are playing that in kindergarten. So we don't need books. I think that in many countries they use books for children.
For small children.
Small children.
And doing things at the table, like sitting and listening a teacher talking and then answering in the certain way maybe. But in a play you don't have any certain goals, you don't have any certain way to do things because we can be different also in that way that we maybe come in the same conclusion but we come from the different aspects of the thing.
And we learn different. I think that's the main goal with children under in preschool. Me otetaan se huomioon.
We take that into consideration
That we are different learners.
Yeah.
You know, visuaalisesti, auditiivisesti, kinesteettisesti.
Kinesthetic.
Martin Rusak.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, my question would be, when we were doing all those letters, then at the moment you told us that the hat is not supposed to be sticking out, so the T is like nice and clean. So we received some kind of feedback, and then we didn't receive it anymore. So my question would be, the children at the very beginning would be and are looking for some sort of feedback from the teacher, telling them what is right and what is wrong. And I guess my question is how to stop it and how to make it come from inside, that they don't need the adults, the only one correct feedback anymore, and they just know what's right or not. Was it clear? Yeah.
If I understood the question right. Eli varhaiskasvatuksessa puhutaan niin kuin ratkaisukeskeisyydestä.
In early childhood education, we talk about the problem solving is in the middle of things.
Together.
And that we do that together, solving the problem.
Of course, if you're 6 years old and you're going to school, so mitä lähemmäksi koulua, alkuopetusta tullaan, niin se pitää tavallaan, niin kuin, te on kuitenkin tietyn muotoinen ja näköinen.
When we come closer to the primary school, it's also the children think that they have to know what the tea actually looks like.
Mutta tavallaan niin kuin se silleen, että he on osallisena hakemassa sitä vastausta siihen, niin mä en anna sitä valmista vastausta.
They are also trying to find themselves how the tea looks like, and the teacher doesn't give the right answer right in the moment. Maybe like this happened now, but when we were playing with the children, it may be not that obvious.
Joo, se on tärkeää, että mä en tukahduta sitä oppimista sanomalla liian aikaisten, että se pitää olla just noin.
So that we don't too early say that this is right and this is wrong, so that the child can also learn that by themselves.
Et jos on lapsi, jonka ensimmäinen kirjan alkaa T-llä.
If there's a child whose name's first letter is T.
Joo, niin hän usein itse korjaa sen jo siinä tilanteessa sitten muille, että se T on semmoinen, että se pää on sinne
he
alas.
will do it in the play that because he knows the letter, that when they are playing, he corrects the others that it doesn't have that. It's going to look like this. So usually it comes from the children.
Eli tässä se participate.
The participation of the children.
Tässä opetustilanteessa kanssa. He löytää sen ratkaisu itse. Useimmiten.
Yeah, it's the peer learning. They're teaching them others, for instance, like the first letters. If that's the thing that they know already. When they are even small children, they know what is my first letter. So.
Did I answer your question? I think so.
Yeah. I have a question.
Yep.
Can we make a conclusion that playful learning is like the best or one of the best approaches in education? So does it help to so that interaction between an adult, it can be teacher or parent, between the parent and a child, adult and child, to be more productive? And does it help to gain the learning goals quicker? Like, yeah, in a way.
I think Dr. Purvis has said that the brain needs 400 repetition when you're doing it in a academic type, that you're repeating something during at the table, and it takes only like, I don't remember what it was in play, but it was so small that the children learn it so much quicker. I have to find it somewhere, the quote, but the play is actually the thing. I'm concrete, like certain that when the children play and we adults play with them, is it a parent at home or is it a teacher in early childhood education, is it a teacher in preschool or in primary school? If you are playful and you have a little bit of magic in your teaching, I have hundreds of experience of children who might have been difficult or a handful in another group, but when it's based in the play, they haven't been like that. Because in the play, everybody be themselves. They don't have to sit. They don't have to listen just adult talking. They learn that. Because, for instance, in narrative play, they meet characters who have tasks for them, but it's totally different authority when it comes from the playful adult. For instance, if I'm now the dragon and you have to give me the something that I need, and I'm a bit angry, and for instance, like the fear, we don't actually talk about it with the children. But in a play, you can have excitement. I remember I had we talk about the story of three pigs and a wolf, and then the children wanted to play the story, and there were the three pigs, and they built the different houses. First had the olki, straw, and then the second one had the wood, sticks or something, and then the third one had the bricks, and it was the best house, of course. And then they wanted to play, but it wasn't so excited because they were playing just themselves. Then one boy goes, "Ask Milla, I know she can be a very good wolf." And then they came and, "Could you be the wolf in our story? We want to play, but it's not the same because there isn't anything exciting." And then when I came, I had only the ears presenting that I'm the wolf, but the screaming and the excitement that the children had when I went to knock all the doors and they get to run away. So that's what I would want all the teachers learning themselves, that you can be the excited part of the play. You can create these atmospheres and you can create these kind of like things with the children. So I think, yes, it can be very profound thing for the children.
Thanks.
I can tell a little bit of when we started this book. Before background of this book is 3 years project, and when we then were teaching those alphabets T and V and so, do you know what the parents, children's parents, said to me, like to teachers? No, it's not right way to teach like that. They had to have book and they had to sit on the and on the table and write. They couldn't believe that children can learn like this. But after that, when they have seen that children learn so much, they said, "Oh, that's good way." But it was very, very difficult to understand in the beginning.
And then also, when we think about the future, what kind of skills the children actually need in the future? We don't know what the future is going to be like, maybe not even 5 years, or in 10 years, or in 15 years, when they're going to be in the worker life. And I think there has been a lot of talk about these future skills, like learning to learn, the problem-solving skills, and the creativity. And when we think that, what is the most important thing also, what you can learn in play? You can learn all the moral things when you're playing with the other children. You can learn how to take others in consideration, rather that you have a little moment where you practice that in a formal way, that now you say this and then you say that. But when you're playing, this happens automatically. You just have to be there as an adult to see that now we're actually practicing the social skills. So that's, I think, it's also a way we can change the future and be the ones that carry these children to the next part of their life. So we have very long-term effects what we do in the early childhood education and preschool.
I think I have the last question as a parent. So, are there any practical tips how to play with children? Are there any rules how to play and teach and learn? So, to make it more effective?
I would say no.
No. Anything goes.
Anything goes. I think the most important thing is that there are no goals for the like playing. The thing what you're doing in the play, what you want them to learn, that's your own goal. You don't like expect the child to learn maybe that straight away.
I think participate is the key word here also. So
If we are talking about children from 1 to 6 years old, so have to be a part of the learning situation.
Can it be also mentioned this absence of critics? We don't criticize children for what they're doing, for instance.
Yes. Because in play, everything is possible.
Yeah.
You can do it in a different way. Yeah, and I think also that the participation as an adult, as a parent, if you don't want to be a very active one, you can be the patient in the doctor play, and the child is doing all the experimentations for you, or the child is building something. You can ask questions. Who is living in there? And okay, I'm going to take the teddy bear and I'm bringing it here. So, for instance, at home, if you have something else to do, also I have also a 3-year-old at home. If I have some chores that I do, I can take her to do those with me in a playful way. Or if she has a play going on, I can give little things that she can add to the play. Not maybe in a learning situation, but it also happens. When you add something to the play, you learn something always.
Thanks a lot. Does anyone else has questions? Because otherwise we will ask you the questions. Should we?
There you can find a book.
Yeah. So should we try? Who will be responsible? Christoph, you're reading well. Can we just try some playful activities with the adults? Yeah.
So we can have a closing game, I think, because you also need to reach the train
the
with your
train,
guests,
yes,
and time is coming soon. But as a closing game, can you say a number between? Can you hold this? Between 1 and 116. No, anyone? 2. Okay. So let's see. Game number 2, because all the games has a number in this book, and it has more than 100 games. So number 2.
Okay, clap when you hear it. Something shared with a child is mentioned in a story, and the child acts in a certain way when they hear it. So we should have everybody a roll before we can start to do this.
Okay.
We should give out roles. And then somebody should come up with the story.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Assign some rows.
Maybe you take another number.
116.
Play needs time.
116, did you say that?
Yes, last one.
Yeah.
Painting by dancing. We don't have any paints.
Okay, but maybe you can just
Okay.
explain.
Or then maybe we take the number 3.
Okay, 2 plus 1.
Okay. You have to find out a way to come on a trip with me. I'm going to tell you how I'm going to get on the trip, and then you have to think what is the key that you can also join our trip together. When I'm going to the trip, I'm going to take a banana with me. How are you going to come to the trip with me? Guys, I'm counting on you. Okay, you can get on the board.
With the monkey?
No, sorry.
No.
So I got
Orange.
yes, welcome on board. Well, very well. You're on board. Maybe not. Almost. You're half. The other food is already on the board.
Mango.
Yes, you're on the board. Yes, you're on board.
Coconut?
Yes.
Yes, maybe. That's also challenge the teacher. Yes.
How we distinguish them. Yes.
Yeah. So that's the idea also, that you can, for instance, if you're waiting to go somewhere, you can have this kind of play with the children that. And then there are always those who don't come up with the idea, then you can give a little bit of examples.
Maybe we wish a nice trip to everyone with your bananas and then with your mangoes and all.
You can all go now and
Yes.
enjoy the trip.
Yes, and thanks a lot,
Thanks a lot,
for
everybody.
coming. It was a great pleasure to see you here, and thanks a lot for the contribution. And I hope that you will bring. We hope that you will bring the message of play to everyone you meet. Thanks a lot.
And play yourselves.
Yes, no matter what they
No matter
what they
where.
say,
No.
be yourself. Play
you.
yourself. Yes, thank you.